Browns QB Dillon Gabriel gets honest on Shedeur Sanders' relationship. Cleveland Browns rookie quarterback Dillon Gabriel opened up about his relationship with fellow first-year signal caller Shedeur Sanders as the two compete in a four-man battle for the starting job. Gabriel landed in a unique situation with the Browns, who selected him in the third round of the draft. He was already set to compete with veterans Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco for the starting quarterback job. The dynamic shifted when Cleveland used the number 144 pick on Sanders in one of the most talked-about selections of the draft. Sanders' unexpected draft slide only added to the spotlight on the Browns' already crowded quarterback room. While Gabriel often gets overshadowed by Sanders' presence, he's embraced the opportunity to share the room with the former Colorado standout. "It's good," Gabriel said of his relationship with Sanders. "I think there's a bunch of ways to do it, and we've just been doing it by being ourselves. So it's been a lot of fun that way. We have a fun room, and there's just a bunch of diversity in a lot of ways. And we just use that to our advantage, keep learning, keep growing." Gabriel has earned a reputation as a quick study in his first few months with the Browns, absorbing everything he can and closely observing the veteran quarterbacks around him, including Deshaun Watson. Just day-to-day and how they go about their process of whether studying, taking care of their body, or even just thinking about a certain play, Gabriel said. "There's a mix of all that. And as you can tell, there are three guys, Deshaun, Joe, and Kenny, who've played a bunch of ball at different spots. So they've seen a bunch of different football. We can all learn from that." The Browns have said that all four quarterbacks are in the mix for the starting job. Gabriel and Sanders are long shots to start out of the gate as rookies, especially considering the Browns' challenging early schedule. Gabriel is only focused on what he can control and has a unique perspective on the quarterback battle. "I view competition as beating myself yesterday, and how can I be better than I was yesterday?" Gabriel said. "And I think when you have that focus, it's going to make everyone better." Browns open to keeping four quarterbacks. The Browns want to decide on their starting quarterback sooner than later. However it shakes out, it doesn't mean the team will part with any of their four passers. "We've largely looked at the last 5 spots of a roster as more developmental spots, and that could come from any position," Browns general manager Andrew Berry said at training camp. "I also think with the roster flexibility nowadays, especially with the elevations that you're able to have on the practice squad, there's just more flexibility in terms of how to build your 48-man game day roster, where it's maybe not as quite as restrictive as in the past. If there are 4 that are 53-man worthy and we think it makes the most sense for us to keep, then we will." Gabriel is not thinking about what the future might hold. "It just has nothing to do with what I can control, right? It's up to them. They make the decisions. I just lace my cleats up, get on the grass and happy to do what I do. Appreciate it." The late afternoon light spilled across the Browns' training facility, glinting off the helmets stacked neatly near the locker room. Inside, the energy was a mix of adrenaline and tension, the kind only a quarterback room in the NFL could generate in late July. Rookie phenom Shedeur Sanders had brought cameras and curiosity. Dillon Gabriel, the undersized but battle-tested signal caller from Oklahoma, had brought calm experience. Together, they shared a room, a playbook, and surprisingly, a growing bond that no one outside the building really understood. Until today. Reporters gathered around Dillon Gabriel after practice, their microphones angled toward him like a forest of silver branches. He had just finished a series of crisp passes during team drills, threading the ball between defenders with surgical precision. The buzz around the room wasn't about his throws, though. It was about Shedeur, his swagger, his struggles, his high-profile lineage, and how the two quarterbacks were navigating a battle that could define both their careers. A reporter asked the question that hung in the air. "Dillon, what's your relationship with Shedeur Sanders really like behind the scenes?" Dillon chuckled softly, running a towel over his sweat-damp hair before leaning back against his locker. His answer didn't come immediately. Instead, he took a breath, eyes flicking toward the corner where Shedeur sat tying his cleats, pretending not to listen but clearly catching every word. "You know," Dillon began, "people assume because we're fighting for the same job, it has to be tension all the time. Like we're plotting against each other or something. But it's not like that. At least, not for us." He shifted his weight, his tone growing more thoughtful. "Shedeur's got man, he's got that fire you can't coach. He walks in like he's been here for years, like he belongs, and honestly, that's not easy to do in this league. I respect that." A few reporters scribbled notes. Someone asked if they ever clashed in meetings or on the field. Dillon shook his head. Clashed? Nah. Challenged each other? Every day. He'll call out a coverage I didn't see in film. I'll show him how to slide protections when the defense disguises pressure. We compete, yeah, but it's a healthy thing. He's young, but he listens. And that's rare. Later, in the film room, the two quarterbacks sat side by side, their rivalry put on pause. A grainy clip of practice played on the screen. Shedeur rolling out, eyes scanning, before firing a tight spiral across his body. It was incomplete, low and outside, but Dillon grinned anyway. You keep trying that throw, Dillon said, pointing at the screen. You're half a second late, but when you get it, that's a Sunday throw. Shedeur smirked, elbow resting on the table. Half a second, huh? You trying to coach me out of my style? Nah, Dillon replied, shrugging. I'm trying to help you stay alive when that edge rusher closes in. There was laughter, low and genuine. Two competitors, yes, but two quarterbacks bound by a shared language only they spoke fluently. The headlines outside painted a different picture. QB battle heating up in Cleveland. Sanders versus Gabriel. Who will survive the cuts? Rookie under pressure as veteran pushes ahead. But inside the facility, Dillon's honesty told another story. A story of mutual respect and unexpected mentorship. He's got cameras following him everywhere, Dillon told the reporters, his voice steady but warm. You all see the highlight reels and the mistakes. But you don't see him at midnight watching film, asking questions, writing notes. That kid wants it. And yeah, I want it too. We both do. That's what makes this fun. Later that evening, after the press had dispersed, Shedeur approached Dillon in the hallway. The rookie's usual swagger was muted, replaced by a rare vulnerability. Hey, Shedeur said quietly. I heard what you said in there. Appreciate it, man. You didn't have to. Dillon shrugged, adjusting his backpack. Just told them the truth. They'll write what they want anyway. Shedeur nodded, then grinned. Still not gonna let you outplay me, though. Dillon laughed, clapping him on the shoulder. Wouldn't expect you to.